The morning mist clung to Jamal's skin as he made his way deeper into the hidden forest, each step a soft crunch against the carpet of fallen leaves. Here, the air was saturated with the earthy aroma of damp earth and pine, interrupted only by the subtle chorus of birds perched high above. He paused, taking in the sight of towering trees that rose like ancient columns around him, their shadows weaving a tapestry on the forest floor. Jamal, known for composing melodies that danced on the edges of unfamiliarity, felt the usual excitement of discovery pulsating through his veins. But today, it was different, charged almost. As he cleared a thicket, a peculiar glint caught his eye, a small stone idol half buried in the mossy ground. It was no ordinary find, something about its intricate carvings and the faint hum it emitted touched a chord deep within him. He knelt, brushing dirt away gently, and the idol sang to him, a haunting melody that was both unfamiliar and eerily beautiful. Jamal's heart thumped wildly, each note seemed to unlock a piece of his soul, a connection he never knew existed. It wasn't just music, it was communication, a language that transcended the known. As he sat cross-legged in front of the idol, listening intently, visions unfurled before him. Mythical creatures, fairies, centaurs, and spirits of the woods, emerged, bathed in the soft spotlight of sunlight filtering through leaves. They seemed to dance in time with the idol's tune, their eyes reflecting centuries of wisdom and curiosity. Jamal rubbed his temples, fighting an overwhelming rush of emotions. The world he knew was expanding beyond its limits. A ripple of excitement coursed through him, mingled with the whisper of fear at the unknown. What does this mean? He wondered, his mind grappling with the significance of such a discovery. Even as the idol's song faded back into silence, its echoes remained, woven into the very fabric of his being. Jamal felt his own music resonating with a new, untapped force, one that linked him to these enchanting creatures that now lingered at the forest's edge, eyeing him curiously yet cautiously. He stood, brushing leaves off his jeans, and resolved to uncover the truth of this connection. Today marked the end of his ordinary world and the beginning of an extraordinary quest, a journey guided by the whispers of an ancient prophecy poised to rewrite destinies. Nestled in the heart of the forest where the morning sun pierced through the dense canopy in glittering shards, Jamal walked with purpose. The scent of wildflowers lingered in the air, mingling with the distant sound of a bubbling brook. He had to find Lyra, the wise centaur whose knowledge spanned countless lifetimes. As he approached a clearing, Jamal spotted Lyra's imposing figure, a blend of equine grace and human wisdom, standing amidst dappled sunlight. Her eyes, a deep and knowing amber, met his. "You've awoken the idol," she acknowledged, her voice a melody in itself. "Yes," Jamal replied, feeling a tremor of awe. "It sang to me. I need to understand its message." Lyra nodded thoughtfully, her tail flicking with measured cadence. "The idol speaks of a prophecy, a rare gift to our realm and yours, a chance for unity. But you must tread carefully. Lionel, the protector of these woods, believes our world must remain hidden." Jamal listened, the weight of her words pressing upon him like the ground beneath his feet. Why? Why must it stay hidden? He pressed, curiosity burning within his chest. With a sigh as ancient as the forest itself, Lyra explained, "Long ago, humans and our kind shared this world, but greed and fear sowed discord. Lionel fears a return to such times." Her gaze softened. "But if you can master the magical music, there's hope, hope to heal what was broken." Stepped closer, Jamal's determination solidified, fueled by the clarity of purpose this new world proposed. "How do I begin?" Lyra's eyes sparkled with a gentle compassion. "Let your music speak for you, bridge the divide with its power. Lionel respects strength and resolve. Show him you are worthy. With these guiding words, Jamal's heart swelled with newfound motivation and a hint of trepidation. He understood his task, to weave his music into a legacy that would reach beyond the canopy above, across worlds divided by time and misunderstanding. As Jamal bid farewell to Lyra, the forest around him seemed more alive than it ever had before, each tree and creature a part of the vast tapestry he must learn to navigate. A dappled path lay ahead, veiled in challenges unknown. Yet, with every step he took, the rhythm within him grew stronger, whispering promises of unity and the dawn of an incredible journey. Under the broad canopy of ancient trees, their limbs stretching out like the enrapturing arms of a natural cathedral, Jamal found a secluded spot to play his next tune. The air was thick with the sweet scent of blooming violets and the distant chatter of creatures unseen but felt, their presence a gentle itch at the back of his mind. With a deep breath, he awoke the strings of his guitar, a cascade of notes rippling out into the forest. The melody was rich yet hesitant, tinged with the rawness of untested waters. Jamal's fingers moved fluidly over the strings, but in his heart, uncertainty loomed. The creatures gathered gradually, foxes with luminous eyes, bird-like sylphs flitting between branches, and a cautious ensemble of fairies like tiny beacons of light. They settled at a distance, murmurs of curiosity and skepticism weaving through the air, a gentle breeze tingling Jamal's skin. He speaks through music, yet his heart is clouded, a deep voice resonated, belonging to a towering beast with stag-like antlers. Jamal paused, his heart thundering. "I come with peace," he called out, trying to infuse his voice with the resolve he felt sprouting from his core. "I wish to understand, to connect." A fairy, hair glimmering like spun gold, fluttered close. "Words are winds, fleeting and fickle. Prove yourself, and the winds may change," she whispered, her voice like chiming bells. The eyes of the forest watched, a choir of expectant silence. Despite the doubts, a dance of notes came forth again from Jamal's guitar, this time warmer, reflecting the intangible thread he hoped to weave among them all. Hours passed, his fingers aching, yet the approval remained elusive, skepticism thickening the air itself. Just as his hope began to waver, a young fairy flitted near, her eyes large and bright. "You play beautifully," she whispered, a twinkle of belief sparking. "Aura is my name. The forest hears you, it merely takes time to listen." Her sincerity was a balm, rekindling his spirit. Encouraged, Jamal drew out a poignant melody, imbued with his emotions, painting vivid pictures across the varying shades of bark and leaf, a narrative of yearning and dreams. As the sun dipped beyond the horizon, spilling liquid gold over the forest canopy, Jamal finally felt a curious acceptance seeping through the wilderness. Among the creatures, whispers of intrigue began to bloom amidst the verdant silence. With Aura's words lingering in his heart, it was as if he'd taken the first step toward bridging an ancient divide. The thick, intertwining branches overhead seemed more alive with tension than ever as Jamal made his way to the heart of the forest. Even the sun's rays, dimmed by a thick cloud cover, struggled to pierce through the dense tapestry woven by the trees above. The forest's whispers were no longer only nature's breath but filled with undertones of discord. Jamal could sense it in the way the wind shifted, the way the ground itself seemed to shudder beneath his boots. Rumors of dissent among the creatures had reached his ears, an undercurrent of rebellion against Lionel's unwavering leadership. As he walked, cradling his guitar, a shadow flitted through the underbrush, a sprite conspiring against him, hoping to disrupt the unifying music he sought to share. He felt the sting of anxiety prickle his skin but pushed forward, heart resolute. In a clearing suffused with an eerie calm, Lionel awaited, imposing and fierce, like a guardian carved from the forest itself. His eyes were the cool green of shaded leaves, challenging yet unreadable. "You dare encroach upon my domain with dreams of change," Lionel growled, his voice resonating like thunder. "I come not to encroach, but to create," Jamal replied, stepping forward despite his heart's loud beating. "To weave the fabric of our worlds, through the spirit of the idol's song." Lionel remained unmoved, the silence around him pressing in, deep and unwavering. "Prove it, then," he pronounced. "Show me this prophecy you claim to herald." Breathing deep, Jamal nodded and let his guitar spill forth a symphony, one that danced with the essence of the forest itself. Every note he played caught on the breeze, untangling the doubts that hung like cobwebs in Lionel's domain. The music moved like a living creature, enveloping trees, stones, and spirits alike. Faced with the force of nature Lionel emanated, Jamal poured every fragment of belief and determination into his music. Tendrils of magic shimmered into existence, light stirred by sound, painting vivid tapestries of unity and potential across the air. The duel of melodies, Jamal's hope against Lionel's skepticism, reached its crescendo. Jamal's music shimmered, weaving threads that resonated with unseen power as they spun through the branches, echoing a harmony the forest hadn't known in centuries. At that moment, a flicker of awe crossed Lionel's features before his stoic visage returned. The echoes of Jamal's tune subsided, but the magic lingered, hanging in the air like sunlight through fog, a testament to the prophecy's truth. In the golden twilight that stole between the trees like liquid fire, a tension gripped the forest. Creatures both mythic and mundane gathered at the edge of the glade, anticipation a tangible force amidst them. Jamal stood center stage, his heart a wild drumbeat in his chest. Before him, Lionel fixed his gaze, a mixture of respect and challenge in those unfathomable eyes. The stakes had never been higher, victory would mean a bridge between worlds, failure, eternal exile. The forest around them seemed to hold its breath, the scents of lichen and greenery mingling, dense and intoxicating. Jamal felt them feed into the music within, an undercurrent ready to swell. Lionel took a step forward. "For the sake of these realms we hold dear, let us settle the melodies we represent," he said, his voice the rustle of wind through ancient leaves. Jamal nodded, swallowing the knot of nerves. "Agreed. Let our music speak." As they began, the air shimmered with the first notes, Lionel's deep, sonorous tones a challenge, like roots delving into the earth, commanding the strength of the forest itself. Jamal countered with a melody that soared and dipped, reflecting his journey, his growth, and the whispers of every creature he'd encountered. The strings of his guitar lived as though singing from a singular, natural soul. Each phrase of music spun threads of light, coloring the twilight with hues of emerald, sapphire, and gold. The glade, once a mere gathering place, transformed as their music danced upon it, an invocation to the worlds waiting to join. Harmony emerged from the duel, not as a winner or loser, but as a new creation, shaping reality with meaning. Jamal felt his music weave through Lionel's, their notes finding union like the warp and weft of a single tapestry. As the climax approached, Jamal unleashed every ounce of his understanding, the pain, love, and desire for connection that bound him to this world and the next. The forest responded, releasing its ancient magic to twine with his own, echoing a forgotten language of creation and possibility. When the music faded, the quiet thundered louder than any roar. Lionel inclined his head, a smile, faint and proud, touching his lips. "You've brought the forest to sing," he said, a whisper of awe in his voice. Jamal bowed slightly, a grin spreading across his face as the magic settled, promising change, a sign that the world had tilted towards something wondrous and unforeseen. The once silent forest now thrummed with an energy brought on by Jamal's music, each branch and leaf alive with the song of transformation. The sky above shifted hues like a watercolor in motion, painting the world in shades of hope and possibility. Jamal stood at the center of the glade, the world around him a blur of color and sound. From within the shadows, mythical creatures emerged, their skepticism dissolved by the power of the melodies that had woven through each heart. Lionel, wise and humbled, stepped forward, his posture relaxed yet still imbued with a regal air. "Your song has proven potent, Jamal," he acknowledged, his voice an accord crafted from respect and relinquishment. Jamal, guitar still in hand, felt the weight of anticipation shift, lightening as he met Lionel's gaze. "The music isn't mine alone, it belongs to all who choose to listen and build from its foundation," he replied, the humility of his words echoing the truth in his heart. A murmur of agreement rippled through the gathered crowd, a tapestry of sound layered with the distinct voices of fairies, centaurs, and sprites. Each tone carried an undercurrent of newfound unity, rich and resounding. "Now," Jamal called, raising his voice slightly above the harmonious murmur, "let us join together." Inspired by his presence, the creatures added their voices to his. The forest responded in kind, their collective song spinning into the very bark of the trees, lighting the ground in intricate patterns of linked spells older than memory. Each note, each harmony drawn from the music seemed to melt the boundaries long held firm by fear and misunderstanding. The mythical realm opened its heart, folding into Jamal's vision of what could be. In that ephemeral moment, Lionel's barriers fell, the walls he'd built over ages dissolving like mists before the sun. "Let your music guide us all," he declared, his words a promise of change and an acknowledgement of a world reborn. Jamal felt a swell of emotion, a triumphant crescendo, as the air embraced the melodies, blending them into a symphony not just of sound, but of understanding. Jamal's dream had taken root, blossoming into a future neither human nor creature had envisioned alone. Here, in this enchanted meeting, they'd sown the first seeds of a shared journey, one that would transcend the veil between realms. The air in the hidden glade vibrated with excitement and music, a ceaseless harmony of voices lifting into the morning sky, welcoming the dawn of a new era. Jamal stood amidst an unprecedented congregation of humans and mythical creatures, a testament to the success of his journey. Brightly colored pennants danced in the gentle breeze, scents of wild herbs and flowers mingling to craft an intoxicating bouquet that filled the senses. The forest itself seemed to sing along, its ancient roots thrumming with the shared joy of its inhabitants. As he strummed the opening chords of a new melody, Jamal watched the faces around him, expressions of wonder, gratitude, and newfound camaraderie. Beside him, Lionel stood as a quiet sentinel, his stern features softened by the halo of unity created from Jamal's symphony. Together at last, Jamal spoke, his voice not raised but carried effortlessly by the enchantment in the air. Their eyes locked, a coalition forged far beyond the barrier of differences. Among the audience, children, both human and fairy, played together, their laughter rising like golden threads through the music. Jamal felt his heart swell as he played, each note a promise woven into the very fabric of the shared future. The concert unfolded like a living tapestry of sound, each participant, human and mythical alike, contributing their voices, their life threads, to an incredible opus of unity. The music swirled around them, vivid and binding, painting dreams upon the sky. As the final notes lingered, weaving echoes that resonated with the soul of the forest, Jamal lowered his instrument, humility and pride warming his smile. This gathering wasn't just a concert, it was a declaration of harmony, an emphatic end to centuries of solitude. Emotions coursed through the glade, hope, reconciliation, and the electric thrill of infinite possibility. Jamal stood amidst applause, but his gaze remained fixed on the faces around him, his neighbors, his sometimes doubtful believers, now united in purpose. "This is only the beginning," Lionel whispered, stepping to Jamal's side, the glade now a stage for new promises and paths. Jamal nodded, his resolve as vibrant as the notes still lingering in the air. Together, they'd erased the boundary line, drawing a new map where worlds met and flourished together. As the gathering gradually dispersed into clusters of conversation and kinship, Jamal knew he'd become something more, a bridge, a guardian, a promise of what lay beyond. The prophecy fulfilled, he embraced the dawn of a future where imagination and unity walked hand in